Hello and welcome to a long overdue video showing off one of the classes that I'm working on for what I'm calling MiRaGe Classic. The idea is to have a warrior type class, a rogue type class, this one that I'm about to show you, and a mage type class. I might switch out the mage type class for a archer or more of a ranger type. The mage class is going to be hard to make to work for multiplayer. I didn't think, honestly, the things I was doing for some of these guys, that any of them would work for multiplayer, but I have since thought of some code revisions to my warrior that would make it work if you were in a multiplayer setting and there were multiple people that wanted to be the warrior. Same for the rogue. That's why this code, and I call it code, but these blocks of commands, these groupings of commands. Let's stop making that blink for a little while. I call this my code, and it's written in the Minecraft language. It's the only programming code I really know. I mean, I know some basic stuff, if this, then that, blah, 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 and I use pseudocode, which, if you're not familiar, is where you kind of make up your own words to represent what this is. So my pseudocode for this, the first thing would be, if the player uses a rocket, then switch rogue mode. And that actually means something very different to the game, the way you'd have it scripted out for the game. I don't want to go into too much detail of the code itself. I think an in-depth video on that later would be better, where I can actually go through, show you this, go like this, and you have it on screen there, but what I actually then would do is copy it out, paste it onto my image program, and put it up on the screen all nice and pretty. I like to take my time and do my editing. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know. But that takes a lot of time. And really, I haven't had one of these videos out in a while, honestly, because I haven't been working on it. I've been busy getting a lot of other videos out for my channel, and time is precious, man. Full-time job, and we got a household of 8 here, so it's busy, but I love doing this, so it's totally worth it. So to get started, yes, we should finally get started. The rogue is, the way I envisioned the character of the rogue, the class of the rogue for my means, is he or she is fast and quick with his hands. Let's say our rogue is a girl. We'll call the warrior a boy and we'll call the rogue a girl, just for the purposes of demonstration. So she is fast. She's quick. Speed 2, all the way. Very agile. Hey, spider. And quick with her hands, so she can get in, pick a lock, get in and hit the enemy's weak spot. That sort of thing. But physically, as far as overpowering strength, doesn't do a whole lot of damage. And right now what's happening is I'm punching, which normally does, let's say, one point of damage, which is half a heart. And depending on the mob's armor, it could actually do 0. And I have weakness 2. And I believe every level of weakness subtracts your damage by half a heart. So I'm sitting at -1 heart of damage. The iron sword does 6, so I should be able to hit him now. But if you are trying to hit something and the net result of, gotta be careful, destroy those. The net result of hitting them would do no damage. It just passes through them. Kind of sad, actually, because, quick side story, there was a mob I was working on for one of my maps, the baby spider, the cave spider, and I made them weak because what I wanted them to do was to be able to poison you but not actually damage you. And so what happened was, when I gave them weakness, they would just walk up to you. Well, here's the thing. When they can't do damage to you, I think they don't even try to attack you. They just kind of ignore you. But that was interesting. Anyway, those are the kind of things I discover and I lock away in my head and then I forget about until I'm reminded when it's completely irrelevant because I'm talking about something else. But I am, and it sounds so cheesy, I'm so proud of myself that I found a way to make this work. So the key to making things work all nice in multiplayer is what I used to do is I would have a single command block and it would say test for this thing to be true. And if it was true, you wouldn't use a repeater, use a comparator. If it's true, and you have a comparator next to it, basically it's looking for somebody who has their rocket value increased by 1. Then this would light up. And based on this lighting up, it would output a signal. Then you'd have your string of command blocks that you want to activate behind it. And the very last one to run would be the one that makes it not true. It would then set that player's rocket value to 0. Thus making the next time this gets tested, because of the clock, false, so this would depower, thus unpowering those blocks and making it so it could activate again. The problem with that is in a multiplayer setting, this could be true for you, so it lights up and it runs, and while it's running, it's made true for them, but it's already run for you, and it wasn't true for them yet, right? So these things haven't affected player 2. And then it goes to the last block, which would make it false for you, but it's still true for them. So this never gets depowered. This one would stay lit up. And then basically what happens is you have this part of your code stuck in an on state with no real way to reset it. I mean, there's a lot of convoluted ways you can get around it. But the way this works now is basically all of these things are always on. And it doesn't seem to slow them down the least bit. It doesn't seem to cause a lot of lag like I was afraid it would. And I actually was talking with Dragnos, and he mentioned on all of his tests, and he has, if you've seen his videos, if you've seen his channel, you just know he's got crazy stuff. He said there's no real slowdown, and he's got a lot of stuff just going all the time. So this is what I have. And to stay on topic with at least one thing, the plans I have for these command blocks to make it, just to make sure it doesn't slow down, these things don't have to be on one of these clocks. Where is it? This guy? They don't have to be going this fast. I could easily put a hopper clock in, and it could go tick, tick, tick. And that's fast enough that the updates happen when they need to, as far as the player's concerned, and it doesn't have to update as often. So if this was slowing it down, I could make it even better that way, more efficient. In addition, I thought, say you have a hopper clock, let's build one real quick just for fun. Place it, and then place it into itself, and then place it into itself, and pop any item in there. It doesn't matter what, although I shouldn't have deleted my firework. Come on. Minecraft science. Here we go. So this isn't as blinky, blinky, blinky as that, which is like an every tick. Or maybe it's an every other tick. I think that's an every other tick, actually, because it's tick on, tick off. And this is a slight delay between the two. But the other idea I have is you can have half of your blocks running on this side and half of your blocks running on this side. So it's doing this half, then this half, then this half, then this half. And you could even break that down further. You could make one of those clocks that's 4 hoppers into each other. And so basically you're taking your code and you're splitting it. So everything's still running pretty consistently, but it's not running all at once. So you got less updates going on at once. Okay, switch gears. Let's actually talk about the rogue. Let's talk some more about the rogue. So she's got all these things, and let's give ourselves a rocket. So one thing I kind of like give about the new commands here is it's got names instead of numbers. I kind of like the numbers for their simplicity, but you can start to type what you want. In this case, we want to, I'm not even sure what the game calls it. It starts with an R there. Rocket. I think that's, it's not rocket. I remember now. It's fire something, firework. It's never what I think it should be. Fire charge. Firework charge. Come on, fireworks. I knew it was in there somewhere. So the great thing I love about how simple it is how complicated I make it. So we have a firework. And what I'm using the firework for the rogue is for her to switch modes. Oh, I'm like, wait a minute, that was supposed to do something. We might want this too. Yeah, there we go. So what happened was my firework value was above 1, and it's playing the air noise. It's playing the air noise because my cooldown timer is actually more than 0. If we go into scoreboard, players, list, me. Let's take a look at here what I have. My class is set to 2. That's for rogue. Damage received is a thing that tracks whenever I receive damage. Whenever I receive damage, it will set the cooldown to 20 and then reset the damage received to 0. Hostile kills is the same thing. I love the hostile kills because if I were to switch into my other mode, which I haven't even told you about yet, I could kill sheep, I could kill cows, whatever. It's not going to do anything negative to me because why would it? Distraction is counting if I've used the rocket. In mode is another variable that's a little more complicated, but basically it tracks and helps the mode switch. So the thing that makes the rogue special, and let's take this opportunity to scoreboard, players, let's see, we want to set my cooldown to 0. The thing that makes the rogue awesome is not just this, you get speed 2 all the time, and haste, you can break blocks faster, and jump boost 2, so you're a little more agile, you can move around, you could get away pretty easy. Things aren't going to chase you if you don't want them to, because they can't keep up to you. This is so nice. Just compared to regular Minecraft, to be able to move this fast all the time, it's beautiful. And so, but she has a different mode, and that's what I call sneak mode, and it's activated with a rocket. And it's activated with a rocket because a rocket is something that's multiplayer friendly, meaning I can track it very easily, and it's an item that I can easily give back to the player once they've used it. You'll notice in creative mode when I use it, I just get multiple, and that's because in creative mode you don't use it. So it'll slowly count up. So if we go back to 1, and then let's switch game modes. Game mode, got caps locks on here. Survival. So if we use it, I switch modes, and then I get another one. And it doesn't actually give me another one until it's completed switching modes. And actually, if you did have a bunch of these and you were to spam them, it could not break the system. The system is set up in such a way where that won't happen. So let's talk about sneak mode. Sneak mode is slowness 2, mining fatigue 2. So you are creeping along. Now you could hold down your sneak and really feel like you're creeping along. You could hold down your sprint and kind of walk a little faster, but it's still like a sneaking faster. And actually, let me walk normal, and I'm going to sprint now. Very slight difference. You still get that. I think it's about 20%. No, I think it's like a 7% speed boost, but it's not 7% from 100%. It's 7% from whatever you're currently moving at. So the other thing you get is Strength 4, which should like one-shot anything. It really should. And Invisibility 2. Invisibility does not need to be level 2. I don't remember why I did it. So you're in sneak mode. The rogue, she's sneaking up on her prey. And she's fooling around, so she's killing these bats. Trying to. He did. Gonna go kill this cow. Sprint! Jump! He did. Pretty much anything she touches is gonna die. The thing is, if she decides she's going to kill a hostile, you get that one shot, but now you notice all of a sudden I'm moving faster. And I can keep killing, but right now I'm killing just regular. I've lost all my sneak effects. I'm actually back in what I call normal mode. Very creative name, I know. You see I'm back to my speed 2, weakness 2, haste, jump boost 2. Back to my agile self. And the reason for that is because I killed something. So you can sneak, but you get to kill one thing. It's kind of to illustrate you've made a kill and you've alerted everyone around that might be in the vicinity that that you're there, to your presence. Now, as soon as your cooldown timer hits 0, and that's not set up in here, I just wanted to get the code working, you can freely switch modes. And I love that sound, by the way. And it's giving me 2 right now because I actually have to work out a part of the code that gives it to you twice when your cooldown is 20 and you're trying to switch. It's just a slight oversight. The other thing that can happen is, say you're sneaking around. Now, I can't say, oh, the slime spotted you, so you lose your sneak. But I can say, well, if you receive damage, then most likely the enemy knows you were there. So if I get hit, I lose my sneak mode too. Now, for the rogue, it's not so bad. You don't get that extra damage. You're not going to get to one-shot that thing that was there. But you are going to get that speed boost, which lets you get out of there, especially since you have that weakness. Now, the only thing I really need to decide is, do I want to increase that to weakness 3? And I'm not sure that I do, but I do want to discourage the rogue from just fighting normally. I want to encourage the sneak mode. I think having the invisibility... Nope, can't do it. Cooldown 0. I think having the invisibility, which lets you get closer without things seeing you, and giving you that strength 4, so you're going to kill something. You're going to kill something right away. I think that's a good incentive to switch modes. And really, even if you played a rogue just to be in this mode all the time, I don't think that'd be too bad. The only reason I might nerf this at all is if I decide that I do want to make that 3rd class a ranger or an archer or something of the sort, and then just make it so you have to make it so each class has something special. You have to give each class a purpose. And there's only so many different stats you can focus on, truly. So I said I wasn't going to go into the details of the code, but I was going to go over it. I kind of went over the basic concept, how it works. So I'll save even that overview for another video. I'll just kind of do it all at once. I'll also go over the warrior code in a future video, but it's going to change. I'm going to make it multiplayer friendly. Currently it is not. And then I really have to start thinking on what I want that 3rd class to be. I do have some ideas for a mage. I'm not sure how many of them would be fun to play. It's got to be fun to play. That'll do it for this video. This has been bRanN. I will see you next time. Have a great day.